Start. Mr. Deputy Chairman, Sir, I rise to support the general budget. Stop. Scanning the post-budget comments and reviews, I heaved a sigh of relief when no one called it a dream budget. Stop. We all know that dreams vanish the moment you wake up and you do not even remember what you dreamt a little while back. Stop. The legacy of dream budgets need not be repeated now. Stop. On the other hand, there has been almost consensus to term this budget as a super budget which is going to transform the idea of India. Stop. We all know you, Mr. Finance Minister, as an astute legal luminary, a political strategist, an outstanding parliamentarian and a communicator par excellence. Stop. Now, with your first full year budget, a growth oriented, transformative and inclusive budget, you have taken on a new avatar as an architect of India, as a nascent economic powerhouse. Stop. For years, we have been debating the conflicting merits of a trickle down and the direct attack on poverty. Stop. The minister has been pragmatic in combining both. He has exploded the myth that you have to bait the rich, if you have to be believed a being pro-poor. Stop. Yet, his predecessor in office says that the budget has not passed the test of equity and accentuates trends towards inequality. Stop. Of course, his predecessor did not spare his predecessor also. Stop. Just one day before this, he blamed his predecessor as having brought a fiscal indiscipline and ruined UPA's chances for yet another term in office. Stop. He overlooks the fact that the tax-paying clientele is hardly a 3 crore population of individuals well above the poverty line, and any tax concession hardly benefits the poor. Stop. At best, it benefits the poor middle class. Stop. It has not given any benefit for the poor people. Stop. Sir, he ignores the hard ground reality that the poor and the lower middle class are outside the income tax net. Stop. He turns a nation's eye to the additional surcharge of 2% on the super rich with an income of over rupees 1 crore. Stop. But, he harps on the phased reduction of company tax promised from the next year onwards. Stop. The advance announcements themselves explain the purpose, that is to attract investment. Stop. Sir, China moved to 25% in 2008, the European average is 19 and the average of India is 21%. Stop. I thank the chair for this opportunity to speak on the union budget. Stop. The government got a critical opportunity to show its economic strategy, whereas it has failed our expectations. Stop. The finance minister claimed credit for the turnaround of the economy. Stop. He was pointing at the restoration of the country's macroeconomic stability. Stop. This was more due to global factors like fall in petroleum price. Stop. The international price fall has not benefited our Indian consumers. Stop. Everyone talks about the states getting an increased share of 42% from the total revenue collection of the union government. Stop. The center has given not only additional money but also added burden to continue with social schemes. Stop. On the one hand, money is given, while, on the other, the states are expected to spend on social schemes which were wholly financed before by the center. Stop. Sir, the center has taken its hands off from at least 24 schemes. Stop. The states will be left with financial crunch in the days to come. Stop. I urge upon the Honorable Finance Minister to take note of this. Stop. Our beloved leader, has also pointed out this. Stop. The states governments are deprived of revenue, while the central government goes on with the road says. Stop. While doing a balancing act, our Honorable Finance Minister has failed to increase allocation for education, agriculture, defense, and also for women and child development. Stop. The Ministry of Panchayat Raj gets a mere sum of rupees 95 crores, instead of rupees 3,000 crores allocated last year. Stop. Allocation for school education has been reduced by rupees 13,000 crores. Stop. Fund allocation for mother-child care has been reduced by 50%. Stop. This may lead some states to become backward states. Stop. Allocation for agriculture has been reduced by 30%. Stop. The fund allocation for agricultural loan has been increased. Stop. Similarly, you have made universal education as a right. Stop. But allocation for school education has been cut. Stop. The allocation for midday meal scheme has come down. Stop. The fund allocation for integrated child development scheme has been reduced. Stop. Sir, in total, rupees 50,000 crores has been reduced in this budget for social sector. Stop. This will affect the poorer section. Stop. I want the government to take note of this. Stop. Sir, the Munch talked about interlinking of rivers finds a mention in the President's address on the 23rd February this year. Stop. Thank you very much, sir, for allowing me to speak on the budget, 2015-16. Stop. Before speaking about the details of the budget, let me take the opportunity of speaking about the framework of the political economy in terms of which the budget is to be analyzed. Stop. This is the first budget, after 1952, which has been presented in the absence of the Planning Commission. Stop. The setting up of the Planning Commission was a historical decision, taken by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Stop. He struggled for its establishment from 1936, when the All India Congress session took place, till 15th March 1950. Stop. He fought against his Congress colleagues also, who were against the establishment of the Planning Commission. Stop. Under these conditions, I think, the Planning Commission has been abolished under the pretext that the centrally planned economy is no more necessary. Stop. It is elementary economics that India never had Soviet type centralized planning economy. Stop. It was always a mixed economy, committed to a welfare state. Stop. It was always an indicative planning. Stop. It was an agency, it was an institution, it was a form that was basically overriding the caste, language regional considerations and monitoring overall economic development of the country. Stop.